Talk Show.
It's the Daily Talk Show, episode 623.
What's happening, guys? What's going on? Happy Saturday. Happy Adventure Club Day and Book Club Day.
Yeah, who wooed?
Me, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought if that was 97 that wooed, he's really upped his game.
We got Ramble Campbell in the building.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, we're really good, mate.
I feel like there was times when I was young, I reckon maybe 5 times, over the space of probably 5 years, once a year, I would rearrange my room and be so blown away by how different the room felt. And I never knew it was possible. And for some reason on that day, I just decided to rearrange my room and I was like, I've got a new room.
Did you put your bed against the wall or would you have room on either side?
No, so there was sometimes, a lot of the time other corner. I never had a room big enough to go in the mid, like to have 2 sides.
Really? How big was your bed?
It was quite big. I had a double bed,
Okay.
but I never, didn't opt for that one. Maybe a little like path down the sideway. But now as an adult, I have it like it's strictly for sleeping. You've got it sort of 2 sides, you know.
What else were you doing in your bedroom? Like what
wanking.
other activities? Wanking.
What else?
Yeah, but what other sort of activities would you have? Did you have a computer set up?
Yeah, I had it all dialed in. I had TV, old rear projection piece of shit. I had my corner with my computer, PC, built it from scratch. And then I had my Logitech sound system.
Oh, 5.1?
Yeah, 5.1.
Yeah,
had them around my room. It was sick.
Just
It was my
cables everywhere?
Anyway, the reason I say that is because we've...
For movies?
We've
5.1 or no
No,
music.
for porn.
Don't know if porn was 5.1 back in the day.
Probably wasn't.
True.
Is it now?
Don't know.
You sounded pretty
We'd have to-
confident.
Yeah, well, our amplifier broke, so I can't try.
Who broke it?
No, it's just, it's been broken for a couple of years. So.
The base of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've rearranged the studio a bit, but I feel like it gave me sort of, I remember the feeling, like feeling sweaty and just like, you know, lifting shit. Yeah.
Not sure if it's going to work.
Yeah.
It feels so good. So we're going to eventually have like a bunch of cameras. And so this is like the next step before the multi-camera. And so if you're looking on YouTube, you'll notice that we're closer already, which is nice. We're a little bit further away from the sign. Because one of the things that has bothered me is acoustics. I reckon the acoustics already sound better.
Really?
Yeah, because we're a little bit further under the light. And the way that the light is I think that's dampening things.
Yeah.
And so we've basically extended our producer desk to allow for about 3 people rather than just you, Sevs.
Anyway,
Sorry,
did you have hiding spots in your room? Like, you know when you think...
Pretty small room.
Yeah, but still
Like
hiding
if you
spots.
cops... I
got into safes. And safes were still... Like, safes now are like $49.95 from Bunnings and you get like a full pin... they're so cheap now, but I bought one that was $280 and it was solid. I mean,
what were you putting in there? Being
drugs,
on it, really drugs.
Some drugs, some cash.
Wouldn't they go to the safe as the first thing?
Of course. I once I had this couch and I hid some drugs down the back of it. And I must have been high when I hid them because I found them months later. And I was like,
what sort of drugs?
I can't tell you, but I put my hand down there. I was like, oh my God, this is like $400. There's $400 of drugs there.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't even know about this. This is amazing.
We're talking about storing drugs. I was reading an article about all this coronavirus stuff.
And how do you store drugs?
So they're saying we need to be prepping
to store supplies of medication.
Yeah. So
they don't know how. I mean, what Panadol? It produces flu-like symptoms. So
it's not even about. The way that I read it is it's not necessarily about the drugs that are going to help you with coronavirus. It's you're not going to go to the pharmacy potentially. Like I was sort of thriving on this idea that like doing the show remote, like all the challenges that would be quite fun.
I mean, it's pretty dark when you think about it.
So it is dark, and my thinking behind it is if everyone's fucked, so if like all the businesses are fucked and all that sort of thing, like being fucked when everyone else is fucked, it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just
like if your business goes under due to coronavirus, you're okay with that. If you're just a shit business person, that's another thing.
If it goes out of business during coronavirus, but you were a shit business person, it's a kind of win. It's a win. You're like, mate,
Must
that
be the
coronavirus got my business bad.
Good out.
Not that your BAS was overdue for 15 years.
Yeah, your profit and loss was shit from the start. It's that whole, you're fat in August when people complain about Christmas, and all the shit they ate. But so, there's a list. There's certain amount of drinking water that we should be storing. Yeah. There's food supplies.
I mean, I bumped into a guy I mentioned to you that I haven't seen in a very long time this morning with Ramble, and within sort of 20 seconds of the conversation from hi, what's going on? It was coronavirus, mate, will get us.
How did you say hello to him?
It was pretty full on as well. Like I was just, I think I was like fiddling with my bike or something, and you just start talking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's normal conversation. And then he just starts talking about how like businesses are going under. Like you were talking about Quad Lock as well. And then like,
well, they're not going under. Just to confirm, I was just saying that they're
doing well because they're selling too much now.
Well, there's a bunch of bits like
I love that Ramble's like, fucked up. Now I'm going to just make a complete lie. I heard that they're actually benefiting from the coronavirus.
They're selling so much that they've got not enough.
All right, we don't need. My point was there's a lot of friends businesses, and the point of this guy was that everybody and most businesses have some connection to China for their brand or for their business. So for us, Canon cameras, if we wanted to buy a new one, the Canon factory actually got flooded. And so they, this was a while ago, and so like there was
I remember that.
Low amounts of Canon cameras accessible. And so think about all of the like the camera products. I mean, where are these mics are made in Australia? But
yeah, I mean, that's what's great about
shit that we got in this office is from China in some part of the production line. Yeah, like Apple
sensors,
computers.
But so you think about it, like even sensors and things like that. That's all. What are you saying there, Ramble?
Oh, this has got China written on it, so I'm guessing my drink bottle's made from China.
Yeah, you're
unless
a monster.
the brand is China.
No, it's Camelback, but it says on the back China.
Doesn't say made in China, it just says China.
Just says China.
Just says China. It's the name of the brand. No, but the thing is, China stops the world. Other stuff slows down a lot, and so that's what's going on.
But what they're not going to stop is the book club.
No.
Or the adventure club.
Well, the adventure club potentially, right. I feel like bike parts, all that sort of stuff. If Quad Lock's seeing an impact,
mate, you think a internet server isn't going down? Isn't going down? A computer isn't going down? A bookstore to get your book? You're talking about the book club falling apart.
Kindle.
I think the adventure club.
Digital will be fine.
I think servers and stuff are going to be fine, to be honest. I don't think coronavirus will affect Amazon Web Services.
Yeah, well, I mean, Amazon's probably not even... I would be surprised if they had many servers in China.
But we're not getting anything from, I think Venture IP, fine, through coronavirus.
I think what you're going to be doing is outsourcing your med runs to the adventure club, where we mask up and head down to the pharmacy and bring it back to the fat cats in the studio just sitting around. Haven't been outside in 10 weeks.
Well, I even saw an article after reading that one that was suggested was, do masks work? And at that point, I'm like, I can't be fucking bothered, because if they don't work, what are we meant to do? It's a bit annoying. But apparently hospitals just aren't ready. That's the other thing, which is annoying.
I watched a press conference, a little bit of it, ABC in Australia, and it was an update on the coronavirus.
What were they saying?
It was pretty boring. They're just talking about how they're going to be doing some kind of plan and executing it. It's like, I don't know, everyone's just coming out saying, yeah, we're doing something. We're making sure that we're doing something.
Yeah. Do you know 97 could get deported?
Oh,
could
really?
So if you...
news to Sevs.
Yeah.
What for?
Is that why I'm here?
It's all connecting. Currently, the way the law is that if Sevs is charged with a criminal offence, if he does time, you get sent back to New Zealand.
What's he doing time for? Absolutely nothing.
But I don't know if you saw Jacinta Ardern, the Prime Minister, absolutely slammed ScoMo on it was at the Sydney Harbour, and they were having a press conference. And
she was there?
She was there. ScoMo's there. They're side by side. And at the moment, the Australian policy is that Australia and New Zealand, what's the relationship Australia and New Zealand when it comes to, because you're not an Australian citizen?
No, so I've got something called a special category visa. So if you're a New Zealand citizen, you can come and live in Australia indefinitely and work in Australia, and you get pretty much all the benefits of an Australian citizen except for things like the pension. So I get Medicare and all that sort of stuff.
You don't get the pension.
No, I don't get the pension.
No wonder
That's
he's
all the super
doing his
shit.
bloody
This all makes
doubling
sense.
down
Yeah.
on super.
But yeah, so that's eventually I'll have dual citizenship in both Australia and New Zealand.
Can we do a bit of content around that? Do you think you'll do it before your 21st?
No, because it costs like $5,000, I think.
$5,000.
To
And then
full
it also-
citizenship.
Yeah, and then and then you have to. It's like a year to get because I need to become a permanent resident before citizenship. So I need a year for residency, and then it's like 2 years, and that's fast track. So usually it's 5 years after residency to get citizenship.
I mean,
so it's a nightmare of a process.
Mike Santos, a friend of ours, I think he's just about to get. I think he's got it. Permanent residency.
Nasan
got it? Did he?
Well, so he's going for citizenship.
Great.
But you have to, like, within the PR state. The thing is, you have to be, if you are PR wanting to go citizen, you need to be in the country, obviously, for a certain amount of time. And Nasan's problem is he loves traveling. And so he's sort of being told, you've got to stay put. You can't be doing months away. You've got to stay here, because if you've done over a certain period of time while you're trying to get your citizenship, they won't give it to you.
Yeah.
Annoying.
So basically,
He's a liability to our business.
So the issue is, so you say all of that, but how long have you been in Australia for?
15 years.
So you've been in for 15 years.
It is annoying.
I have to wait 3 years to become a citizen of Australia.
Do you blame mum and dad?
No.
No, but because
But it's just an outrageous system. Like, you'd think that because it's some countries, like other countries, get it in the same amount of time as New Zealand does.
So why didn't you, when you were a kid, mum and dad do the paperwork? Because it's $5,000. Because it's a bit of
Well, so we're trying to get one of my parents' company, like the company they work for, to sponsor it, so we don't have to pay.
for you as well.
Well, you do the whole family.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good idea.
but also there was uncertainty around whether we're going to stay in Australia or go back to New Zealand.
You just told us this now.
what did it,
Yeah, well, no, okay, no, well, so I won't. I mean, I'm staying in Australia.
why are you staying here?
I mean,
He's
there's
got
not much.
opportunities
There's not
here.
much. To be fair, there's not much going on in New Zealand.
There's a fair bit.
Ouch.
There's a
Sorry,
fair bit.
Molly, if you're listening. There's a thriving. I mean,
Auckland is great, but I mean, my parents would go back down to Christchurch, I'm guessing.
isn't that beautiful? There?
Yeah, I know, but it's a bit hard. I don't know what I'd get a job in.
Mate, he's a guy that hasn't had majority of food, so he probably he's fucking giving New Zealand a bad rep.
No,
right
it's
now.
great. It's made like. No,
You've done a ramble.
Job-wise.
Quad locker going under. Actually, I've heard they're benefiting from coronavirus. How does that happen? And now you've said
No, it's
wouldn't
great
go
except for jobs.
Okay, so it's the job market that's your concern.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing about Auckland I loved is very few tolls on the roads all throughout.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I mean, they've nailed
sick.
like internet as well.
Really? Fiber.
Yeah, fiber everywhere.
Okay. Well, it could be interesting. But so you've been here for 15 years. You're 20 years old now. Basically, the way the policy works is because
Why were you reading up on this?
no. So it made the news because Jacinta Ardern just absolutely slammed ScoMo. It was great to watch. And so what's happening is, which I sort of understand both sides, right? Especially when you think about their belief systems and just how they do things.
The New Zealanders.
Both.
Okay,
You think about the Australian party, like where we currently are from a government perspective,
Yeah.
and where the New Zealand government is.
Yeah.
What's happening is if you commit a crime now, when you finish, you're headed back to New Zealand. And so what ScoMo says is you're headed home. You are going home. Jacinta's point is, she's like, can I call her Jacinta? New Zealand Prime
Definitely,
Minister.
Yeah, she won't care.
Jacinta, her thing is, it's like your home is Australia. You've spent all of your time, you've got your family here. If you get out of jail or incarceration or whatever it is and are sent back to New Zealand, you've got nothing. You've got no network. And so what the New Zealand Prime Minister is saying is that Australia should be looking at these things of if you've spent the majority of your time, if everything is here and you commit a crime, when you come out, you should stay in Australia.
That's
And
hard.
apparently in New Zealand, I think that she's just wanting mutual sort of arrangement. I believe that in New Zealand, if an Aussie, if someone who has this arrangement opposite with Sevs, I'm guessing it's like an exchange program, 1-for-1. It's not. It's a joke. It's a shit joke. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's a hard one, isn't it?
It is, because it's
It's
I mean,
the
it
ultimate
kinda
not
makes
my
se-
problem.
But it kind of makes sense to say, yeah, you're out of the country now. Then to say you're staying here is, I mean, then it's like the discussion about, is jail a system that gets people ready to come back into society? And Mick Hall, who was on this podcast, spent a lot of time in jail, said absolutely no, it's not. It's not for 1 second is it a rehabilitation program. It's let's get these people out of society and lock them up and forget about them. And so that's where it's hard, because if the system did do its thing, do a rehabilitation to these prisoners, which it does probably for some, I thought that, and then Mick sort of shut me down on that one. Then it would make sense to just stay in Australia. Yeah. You should have done some kind of program to be able to understand that your crime wasn't right and that you have another chance.
Well, I guess it brings up this sort of no man's land that you're sort of in, Sevs, in some way.
Don't you dare get done for anything.
Just don't commit a crime.
What crime would you commit?
I think it would be completely...
If there was a crime.
It'd be...
something to do with digital.
Digital. It'd probably be... If I was...
Mate, there's
if you were
pretty dark,
torrenting.
there's pretty dark crimes around digital.
Yeah, it'd be torrenting. It literally like
if you torrented, if you don't.
Yeah.
If I was going to get put in prison, it'd be if I torrented.
I mean, I don't know quite what it is, but if I got done and charged with something, I wouldn't mind racketeering. I like the word. I don't even know what it is. Look it up. Racketeering. Like if I got done for
Is
racketeering,
like money laundering.
Well, I don't know. Let's find it out. Like murder's too much.
Yeah.
Racketeering sounds kind of cool. What would you get done for, Josh?
Oh, extortion,
That's good.
That's good. I mean,
coercion.
what's cool? I mean, these are extortion, saying give me
A
money.
racketeer attempts to obtain money or property from another person, usually through intimidation or force.
I love that. It's a
Mate,
good one.
You basically, it was racketeering with South Pacific Health Club.
Yeah, I racketeered.
The racketeer boys.
The other thing, 97 being only 20, he hasn't...
Done many things.
well, no, you've got a little bit to learn with certain things.
Okay.
And one of them was yesterday. I reckon, like when there's someone when there's parents and there's kids, all of a sudden when you become a parent, jokes that were funny when you weren't a parent is no longer funny.
Yeah. For example?
Or so.
There's some dark ones.
Yeah, there's some real dark ones. And so that's the thing is like
he's gone red. Don't throw him under the bus too much. No, he's too red. He looks like a tomato right now. It looks like the record button on our camera. It's unbelievable. I reckon you shouldn't say the thing that he said.
Oh, yeah.
Seems too much. I'm just reading the temperature in the room. It looks like
it's hot. It's extra hot.
He just had extra hot Nando's.
And so the thing is that there are like if you say that your kid's ugly or things like things that you think are funny but actually have real serious consequences. I think you've yesterday specifically, I'm going to have to go into it.
I missed it. I missed this thing that he said.
Well, it's sort of like, I think in the realm of pedophilia jokes, making that sort of thing, because I think that it comes from a good place, which is you're not a pedophile.
No, I know.
Right?
Yeah,
and so that's the thing. When you're not a pedophile and you don't have kids and all this sort of thing, pedophile jokes could be funny. Yeah. However, read the temperature in the room. If I'm playing with a kid, making pedophile jokes isn't like a win-win.
Oh, was this at the point that you were sticking your fingers in my son's mouth?
Yeah, exactly.
And then told off, like, that's disgusting. And then you came back and did it again? Is that it?
I didn't get told off. So
I thought it was clir that it was like, that's a bit fucking wrong. And I was saying, hope you get worms from that. Like,
I thought you wanted him to get worms. No, what happened was I thought Bodie was giving me a lot of shit. It was just sort of
how old are you?
He punched me.
Yeah, 3-year-old.
A 3-year-old punched me. Anyway, I thought he took he took one of the letters off off our letterboard.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that he'd put it in his mouth.
I did too.
And so then when I was going to check and I realized it was there, I already had my finger on his like teeth in his mouth. And so then I made it a bit of gear. I'm like, and then he was like, I'll do it again. And then he went, and that was when 97 like overstepped the mark. But the thing is that from my perspective, it's like, because then I felt yuck about the whole thing. I was like,
you had your finger, but you had the chance to not do it again.
When did I do it again?
You did it twice. And the point was made about your fingers were in my son's mouth at the first
did
one.
To be clear, because then I was reading the coronavirus stuff and I was like, they're suggesting you can't even shake hands anymore.
Really?
And then they're saying Ebola elbow.
I elbow some people. Yeah,
so that's the Ebola handshake. It's just hitting the elbow. Or maybe it was called the elbow handshake.
There'll be no kissing either. There'll be like no in for a peck.
And so the thing, I wanted to apologise for the fingers in mouth thing. I thought it was funny. In hindsight, I don't think it was. And no, I'm annoyed. I don't think it would have been an issue if 97 didn't sort of make the inappropriate joke as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is.
I mean,
like, you're a bit weird around my kid.
Well, I just
promised him biscuits yesterday.
Well, so I think there's something fun in just because he goes me, and so I just go him. And so
but you can't lie to him. Like, I mean,
really,
you don't lie. Like you said, you can't have a biscuit now because you did that, and I said, mate, don't say that. There's no biscuits, so that's a lie. But there was never biscuits.
But so what reality are we in? Because the thing is, he's
one where there is biscuits in a jar or there's not.
He was calling me Mason. He thought that was laughing. He thought that was very funny. He's like, hey, Mason. Sorry, Mason. I was like, my name's fucking Josh, and you know it.
Yeah, you've got a punchy vibe.
And so what do you think? Because I think that maybe I've almost gotten too comfortable because I think that because we spend so much time, it's almost like he's my kid. I just felt like
that's fine. Yeah. No, I didn't care. I didn't care.
No, but I think I was actually fine with my actions. My issue was 90. Like all of a sudden, I think that I was towing the line of just being of outrageousness. I also understand that, to be clear, Amy and Bodie walks in and Mason says, can Mason have a hug? Right? Bodie didn't want a hug. He said, no, a hug for daddy, right?
Oh, that was cute.
So that was
I did
nice.
hear that and I thought,
but the thing was,
my boy.
I saw on Instagram or whatever, it's if I think Goldie Guts did an Insta story about it. If the kid doesn't want a hug, don't force the hug. But the way Mason basically does an arm, like a barrier arm, is Bodie wouldn't be able to get past until he got a hug.
Yeah.
And so I do this little thing which I think is funny with the finger in the mouth thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's forcing hugs. And so I think it's all got issues. And so I think that reset. I just don't, because I know that kids, people's kids, sensitive topic. And I don't want there to be a big blow up where it's Amy's got the kids Bodie, we're leaving. It's
No way. We're so laid back. Think about
that's
what
why
I let Bodie do, jump off shit, ride bikes. It's some people are a lot more protective.
Did you feel a bit embarrassed after you said it, Sebs, or did you read the room when I was like, oh, you can't say that? Did you think that I was? Because whenever someone makes a joke, I love the vulnerability of someone going deep on a joke that's very risky, and so it's this fine line of I'm just I appreciate the risk, but you've missed the mark, and so.
No, I've made those kind of jokes as a parent.
Yeah,
and
but it's.
You got to feel it out.
But you just can't. It's just too risky. I think it's just risky. Especially you think about the Royal Commission on and the other thing is, I think the reason why people joke about it is because it's you're not a pedophile. Yeah. Right? The thing is,
there's no rape jokes made because there's too many rapists. Not that many pedophiles that you know of.
Well, I think we're discovering there's more, right?
Well, there is more, but the amount of people that actually know one is less. So it's that joke they're still in there. racist jokes. No,
I think
none of
that
those.
I think we should get rid of pedophile jokes.
Yeah, look, a world without pedophiles
Especially-
and pedophile jokes is actually a world without pedophiles. Pedophile jokes would be funny. Like if there was zero pedophiles ever again, it's like, remember the old times with those fuckwits?
But also pedophile joke whilst kids are in the room.
Yeah. Highly risky. And
Did you like it? Because we live, we learn. What's your thoughts on it, Sebs?
I mean, I wouldn't have done it under any other like circumstance or with any other people.
because none of our other friends have mates, have kids.
Yeah. You've got no mates.
Yeah, but you got no direct friends that have kids that are like your close mates.
And this is my this is the first like Bodhi is like integrated into my life.
Yeah, he's always
way, right.
He's always
and so that's like part of it is like there's like a bit of a new normal where it's just like you can climb and it doesn't like bother, like it's just like he's in my personal space. I'm in his. Yeah. It's just this constant sort of thing.
Yeah.
But so what's your learning? You can just say whatever just to make yourself feel or look good in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, judging. I mean, yeah, from your feedback, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Sure. What do you think, Ramble?
I feel like this kind of loops around to the whole like getting deported. So it's like you guys are trying to make sure Mason's not actually a pedophile, so he doesn't get deported.
Or just like, yeah, it's a yeah. In the moment, I was just like, well, that's a lose. Like I was doing something semi-risky. Where oh, what's in your mouth? Are you going there? Like tapping his teeth. What's in there? Which is like quite funny. And because also the thing was I just put
Dettol.
I used Dettol a lot or whatever, and so I had that. So it's like
that
I knew that was
horrible.
But I knew that I was at least clean.
It's not cleaning, mate. That's disgusting.
And so
Next time he'll walk out with toothpaste on his finger.
And so anyway, I think that, but just combining all those things together, I was doing something risky.
Yeah.
You doubled down on the risk. Too risky.
Well, I wonder if it's you with the fingers in the mouth.
I'm never doing that again.
He had nightmares last night.
Did he really?
He came into our room and was just talking gibberish, just talking the most. And then he was like,
and you're blaming me for that.
Mummy's in jail. Mummy, I'm scared. Jail.
I mean, what is he watching to know about jail? Or was it when he visited you a few years ago?
No, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. We haven't watched anything jail related. Free Willy, Papa Drag. Like
Free
Dracula.
Willy, is it? Oh, how was Dracula last
Yeah,
night?
Papa Drag. Oh, there's a character in it. What's it called?
Did you have pizza?
Yeah. Oh, no, we went to the Veneto Club last night.
Oh, great. I still haven't been since the whole basketball thing.
Had a pasta. It was good.
You shared?
Shared a pasta and some potatoes. It was great.
Oh, that's good.
Loved it. The Adventure Club went well. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I mean, that was a last minute inclusion.
Well, you weren't going to until Derek rocked up at your house at 8 a.m. and said, I'm downstairs with a coffee.
Yeah.
That's chauffeur service. And a bike.
And a bike.
Well, no, he didn't have he didn't have his e-bike and he didn't have the coffee yet. I'd just woken up. He's like, hey, I'm down at Pavlov's Duck, which is like a cafe across the road. And he said, come on down. And so then I was like, oh, fuck. He's here. All right, I'll just walk with him so I can do my signing of the helmets and then I'll go. And so I texted him and said, yeah, I need 5 minutes because I wanted to like shower and all that sort of thing. So I did that. And I said, also get me one strong almond latte, please.
Yeah. So
I went down. He was sitting at the cafe wearing the exact same outfits, exact same hat, same hoodie, all that sort of thing, whatever.
Cute. Twins.
And he didn't do takeaway coffee. It was like a sit down. So
he's not a monster.
Yeah. So I sculled that. And I said, okay, let's get walking. He's like, I can just get you an e-bike. Let's go back to my place. And so we did that and then we rode in. And it was nice. I think we've got an Insta story, which I haven't posted yet, that you filmed of me rocking up whilst the e-bike battery was still working. Yeah. And so I got some serious speed and a little skid.
Yeah. Well, the Adventure Club at the first bit turned into, can we find Mr. 97 who's down a extreme riders, like a double black run at the snow
Yeah, it's so
for
annoying.
people on bikes, but you were
Little
walking
goats track.
your mountain bike down a goat's track.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's too risky.
Way too risky next to the river. But then we ended up riding to a sandwich shop.
Yeah, Kelso's. It was great.
That was great. And then we actually rode into the city. That was lovely.
And I did the book club. The book was called You're Not Listening.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned from that is you don't always need to be the one speaking
Where?
anywhere.
Yeah, okay.
And I even have gotten better at not correcting people. So when we're talking,
I mean, from this week's episodes, are you sure? 'Cause-
a lot of talking.
No. Talking.
Oh, yeah.
Talking, you're great at.
Correcting.
Correcting.
Yeah. No, I've corrected a few. Yeah. There's a few. And with Kappa
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you're working on it.
There's potentially a few corrections. But no, I was proud of myself because we was joking. Lightning broadband is great. We use it here. And we're talking about how good it is. And we were then joking to Scooter Derrick about it being a scam because Scooter, the joke is that he thinks anyone that's running a business model is a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. He loves saying it's a scam. And then in that moment, a guy heard us say, "Hey, you're talking about lightning broadband? Yeah, they are a scam, aren't they?"
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was like, like I have an option of being like, they're great, like we love them, or I just like let the guy have his moment of thinking he's really connected to us based on this thing.
Yeah.
And so, sorry, lightning broadband, but I didn't say anything. I just sort of like, yeah.
Well, they're not a scam. We pay them money and they give
Yeah.
us the service.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But so you're not listening. We did a Zoom call. What did you think of the Zoom call?
Yeah, it's great. I think it was my idea from the start. Spearhead great ideas
great.
in this
That's very
business, and I'm proud. I was upstairs stretching for half of it,
That's good.
and it's amazing you're finding your footing for the book club. I don't know what I don't know what club it would have been without the Zoom call on the last day of the month. But
Well,
it
Emma
would have just been everyone read a book and that's it.
Well, Emma joined on the Zoom call and she said that she's been part of many book clubs, never talked about the book.
Oh, she said this is the most I've ever talked
Yeah.
about a book within a book
That's
club.
great.
But I think that's the point. There's banter through it. I think it's probably time to
I need to work out the format.
60 minutes is like the clock starts and then it's like, see you later, guys.
Well, we only did 45, I think.
No, it was well over an hour.
No, it wasn't over
You
an
finished
hour.
at almost 12:20.
So
and it
11:30.
started at
No,
11:15.
that's right. Yeah,
11:30 was start.
It would have been about 45.
Oh, not bad.
I think 50 minutes.
Yeah, it was 11.
Started
It was
late.
11:30 start. Yeah, because we started later just from a technical
that
point
makes
of view.
sense. That makes
But
sense.
we it went really well, and we've got the next book that we can announce because you can start buying it.
Yeah.
Although Callum already knew.
Yeah. So Callum, who was in the book club, did you hear this?
Yeah, I just heard the, got it.
Yeah, he
heard that.
zoomed in on a desk photo and found the book that I'd been talking about.
Mate, hang on, I'm just going to take a call. Batman.
Okay, I think he.
Oh, you're at the front. I'll send Mr. 97 down.
Conspiracy
Yeah, great.
Jimmy's here.
Just before we
See-
go, we
see
want to
you,
thank Venture IP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so this month's like March is so tomorrow is the first day of March.
Yeah,
today's the 29th.
Today's a leap year.
Also, you can get it's the 29th, so you can officially get the Advice Trap, Michael Bungay-Stanier's book,
Not to go off track.
because that's not the book for the book club.
That is a trap. Getting off track. It's a trap.
Yeah, it is a trap.
Advice.
And so the book for this month though, for March is Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg.
and it's a fairly big book
and,
for
yeah,
something that says tiny of it.
So
Tiny.
Ramble, can you just bring it
Thanks,
over here?
Ramble.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, mate.
Thank you.
It's,
It smells good. And so
new.
we should definitely you should get it in it. We'll put a link.
Did you buy
where you
two
can buy
copies?
it. No.
Nah, this is the.
Oh, that's the other one. Yeah.
It's the other one. Yeah.
Now it's the
And so-
doorstop.
And so
So this is it. Tiny habits.
yeah, so I'll just read you the blurb. If you want big changes, start tiny. Forget the latest exhausting fitness fad. Forget resolutions that last for a few weeks. Forget the guilt. Forget feeling bad. Improving your life is much easier than you think. Silicon Valley legend BJ Fogg, founder of the iconic behavior design lab at Stanford, has cracked the code of habit formation. Based on 20 years of research used by over 60,000 people, his Tiny Habits method reveals that the key to changing habits or behavior is the opposite of what you've always been told. it isn't about willpower. It's about starting small and making it feel good. Try any habit, make it tiny, find where it fits naturally in your life, and nurture its growth. There we go. It's a daily talk show.
I'll read that.
Are you going to get in amongst it?
Yeah. You maybe should buy a domain through Venture IP for your book club.
Oh, definitely.
I know we could just have it at the Daily Talk Show, which we host through Venture IP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Venture IP is our web host of choice. If you are looking for shared web hosting, they're great because they're Melbourne based and they have 24 hours, 7 day a week support. If you use the code TDTS at checkout when you're getting shared web hosting, you get 50% off for your first year.
Good deal.
All right. It's a Daily Talk Show. See you tomorrow, guys.
See you guys.